All right.
Hey everybody, it's Paul and Jeff here.
Paul and Jeff, just in case you didn't know.
I was gonna say I really like that.
Isn't this a great
I have one
coat?
too. I should have worn it.
Shout out to John Fabella, who's he produces the Legion M hats,
Yep.
the baseball hats, and is a great supporter of the Legion. And he sent us these jackets. It's great.
Kick-ass jackets.
It's got this cool pocket that allows me to hold
nice.
this.
You can keep your notes in there.
Well, this is
Nice.
my list from David Baxter of the things I'm not allowed to say during today's broadcast.
Yeah, we're
So
learning.
Give me just a second here.
Instead of talking points, we have non-talking
Do
points.
not
for Jeff.
definitely
Yeah.
do not
Do not
mention
talk
any
about-
of these things.
Do not talk about all those things that we're not allowed to talk about.
I have no idea why
Yeah.
David felt he needed to send me this list, but apparently he did.
All right. Well, we do have some talking points, and we've got a lot to update. And actually, if you haven't already, we did send an investor update yesterday. So if you haven't seen it in your email, check your spam folder because we know a lot of them end up in the filter sometimes. But there's a detailed update there, and actually, the cool thing, we have so much going on
Yeah.
that we literally need to edit it back and save stuff for March, or it'll be too long an email and you'll just ignore it.
Yeah.
So we've already got several announcements also coming for March, and we've got a big announcement today.
We've got a big announcement.
Are we going to
today.
talk about that? Are we going to give that announcement?
Today, or should we?
Let's just wait off a little bit.
Do
All
it
right,
next
we do have
week?
a big announcement, but before that, we have a couple of things that we want to just review. You've probably already seen this, and actually, I'm working on a blog post about it. Field Guide to Evil is going to have its world premiere at South by Southwest. And we do have a date now. It's going to almost for sure be March 11th. So if you're in or around or can get to Austin, Texas on March 11th, you're in for a treat. We'll have the premiere there. And, South by Southwest is an awesome event anyway.
Yes.
Right? So, let Field Guide to Evil be the gravy on your mashed potatoes.
Austin is a great town.
Yep.
And South by is a great conference. And
I mean, South by, it's such a cool idea because it's a mashup of, music, and Austin's a great music town,
Yep.
and technology, which we all know is changing our lives, and now film and entertainment, and it's fast becoming one of the kind of premier film festivals. So it's pretty amazing that Field Guide is opening there, and we had multiple invitations. Talking to Ann, there were a lot of invites, and so we chose South by because it's the perfect place for that film.
It is the perfect
It's going
place
to be a
for that
midnight
film.
screening.
Yeah. South by is awesome. I remember I went there a couple of years ago, and it starts off with the interactive, right,
Yep.
which is all the technology stuff, and then it transitions to music. And
Yep.
you could totally see it because the streets were completely packed the entire time. But over the course of a day or two, the wardrobe changed from khakis to skinny jeans and lumberjack beards, and
Right.
it was the funniest thing
Tattoos
to
come
see.
out. And
Yeah.
everything. I love it. It's good to be there for the transition. It's like going from spring.
It
to
is. It is.
summer
And make
to
sure you
fall.
bring your lumberjack beard because I think
Yes.
that's the best way to
We need
enjoy.
clip-on lumberjack beards.
I think
That
that'd
would
be
good.
cool.
All right, so you want to talk about WonderCon?
Yeah. So hey, we've got WonderCon is coming up in Anaheim, and I don't actually remember the date offhand. It's in
24th?
March. 24th. Does
March
that sound
24th?
right? Yeah. Somebody can put it in the comments. But anyway, so
We
we
have
are
a
going
panel
to be
on
there.
Friday night.
We've got.
Yep.
We are not allowed to say what.
We have a panel. Sorry,
Hold on a
David gave
second.
you the notes.
Here's a list of things that we need you to read. No, actually, we're excited. We've got at least 3 panels that Legion M will be involved with. We've got a Legion M panel where we're going to be. We're expecting to announce a new Legion M project, which is going to be wicked cool.
Another one.
We've got a panel pertaining to a subject that we're about to talk about, our big announcement that we're going to make.
If we decide to talk about it.
Yeah.
Unless we run out of time.
And I know that David is on a cause positive panel, and so plus we'll plan. I'm sure we're going to do some meetups and have other assorted hijinks.
It'll be
it's
awesome.
It's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
So if you have a
It'll be good.
chance, definitely circle that
Yeah,
weekend.
mark your calendar for WonderCon.
And when you figure out what the date is, send it to me too, so I can mark
so
my
we
calendar.
can mark Jeff's calendar. All right, so drum roll. So we have a new project, and this is something that started probably about 8 months ago.
It was a while ago.
And should we give them some hints, or should we just come right out and say it?
I think we should just come right out and
Yeah.
say it personally.
Anyway, we're really excited to share this with you because it's probably it's the biggest project we've been involved in.
Yes.
Since we started, and it's it's a really good film, and it's with a producer that's in the top of the class, and he's also the director. So it is Bad Samaritan. And if you haven't already heard about it, they put out a little bit of information. The trailer's out. We're going to post a trailer here. We have our own trailer that includes, by the way, the Legion M photo mosaic.
A
credit.
brand new
Yes.
photo mosaic that we just
Yep.
spun about 2 days ago.
Yep.
So if you got your picture in,
Get your picture in.
if you had gotten
That's
it in
Yep.
2 days ago, then you should be
You're in there
that,
somewhere, and we'll do
maybe
the same
3
thing
days
we
ago.
did for Mandy. We'll provide a high-res version of it. But that trailer, we're going to share it here so you guys have access to it. One thing I want to point out is that this isn't a public announcement. So
Yes.
this is us all huddled together. This is our Legion M community. We are an investor in this film. We're partnered with Dean Devlin, who is...
Who's
I mean,
Dean Devlin?
Yeah,
I'm
Dean
not
Devlin
familiar with
is
Dean Devlin.
our kind of people.
Yes.
I mean, he is, not only one of the producers of Independence Day and one of the original creators and writers on Stargate.
Stargate. I don't know if you ever heard of Stargate.
Stargate?
He was one of the writers of the
I
original
doubt anyone in the Legion has ever heard
Has
of
ever
Stargate.
heard
I'm sure Mary
of
Jules
Stargate.
never heard of it.
Yeah.
But no, he's amazing. And
Independence Day, Godzilla,
Yep.
The Patriots, The Librarians.
LBJ.
Yeah,
And
he's done
the
a
list
lot
goes
of
on.
really
And,
cool stuff.
not only is he super qualified, like with an amazing track record, he's also just a really genuine, nice guy.
Yes.
And a really good, like his whole company, Electric Entertainment. We feel like we've got a real kinship
They
with them.
totally get
They get us.
And
Exactly.
it's because of the fact that Dean and the people there, like, they understand fans. Like,
Yep.
Dean told us that Stargate was actually the first movie that had a website.
Yeah, no one knew what a website was.
And the idea of like creating a website that allowed fans to kind of engage with your movie. When he
Yep.
was out, when that movie, I don't remember, I don't know the specifics, but
Yep.
part of his job or part of his approach to building traction for Stargate was going to Comic-Cons.
Yeah,
like
and
back
that was
in
back when Comic-Cons
what was that, like
weren't
the
as big.
90s? Yeah. So he's definitely
Yeah.
100% our people. And the team has been fantastic.
And did we
so
mention
far.
David Tennant?
Who?
David Tennant is
David. It's not ringing any bells.
All right. So, and actually, I think this was a premonition. You may remember at Silicon Valley Comic Con, we had something in our booth, and it
Yes.
was just sort of random, like that it was there, and people would come by and they're like, "What's up with this?" And it was just there. But we had a TARDIS,
Yes.
a life-size TARDIS, at our booth.
Yeah.
And I think it was like foreshadowing.
Well, and it's
You know?
kind of funny because it was just like a cardboard TARDIS. Like
Yeah.
we bought it on Amazon for like $250.
Even less than that.
We
probably.
set it up. Actually, you're right. I think it was more like 125
yeah,
or something.
yeah.
Anyway, we set it up, and we thought it would just be a fun little
Just
thing.
another thing to fill
You know,
space in our booth.
and it was actually one of the most popular
people
things.
loved
And
it.
at the end of the con, somebody took it home with them because
Yeah,
we're
we
like,
packed
oh,
it up
we
and
can't.
we're like, yeah,
we
take
got
it
no
with you.
place for
Take it
this.
with you.
So,
So I think that was our early clue. We've always told you, look for clues. That was the earliest clue, almost 2 years ago.
that's right.
That we would be doing a movie with David
We
Tennant.
hopped in the TARDIS. We
Yes.
flew to 2018.
Yep.
I don't know. We transported to
Transported,
2018.
Yep. And then
And-
went through a Stargate.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, we're really excited because in this film, David Tennant plays the villain, and he's really, really good. Like, really creepy. This is almost like a Hannibal Lecter type. And the movie's a thriller. A couple other things to point out about it. It's probably the most mainstream film that we've done.
Yes.
It's going to be fairly accessible. It is a thriller. It's, I wouldn't put it squarely in the horror camp because it's more like a psychological thriller. But it's really, like, it's it's studio quality film, but done with Electric Entertainment and being distributed in an independent way, but going to a much wider release than like Colossal will. We don't know the final details, but it is going out to a lot of theaters. So we're going to kick in our Legion M, meetup maker and all the tools so that we can, really support the film when it comes out. And the good news is that because it's going so widely, it should be near almost everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone in North America, and then it will also have international
go overseas as well. Yeah, no, that was a big kind of, that was a challenge with Colossal because it started in 2 theaters and then went to 40 theaters, and it maxed out at about 300 theaters. But it was really difficult because it didn't come to a lot of people's towns. This time it should be all over the country. It's also great because we're working, this is an independent film, and it's also being independently distributed, which is really cool. Like we're working, like Dean was the director of the film, and we're working directly
and the producer and the distributor
with him to,
like, our meetings are with Dean.
With and Dean awesome. and the team to figure out how to distribute it, how to blow it out, how to get the word out there, how to get it into as many theaters as possible. Like this was interesting. Like a lot of people don't know this, but for a movie, pretty much any movie at this stage, the number of theaters that it gets into is like, that's the negotiation. Like you're going out there trying to get it into as many theaters as possible, and you have to convince all the distributors that why they should pick your film over the other movies that are going on. And so the release date hasn't been settled yet.
We're there is a release date out there, but it's not the final release date. It's probably more likely to be in April. So, but we will let you guys know the exact release date. I think we'll probably know that in the next couple of days, and we'll also share with you the public announcement, which will come next week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday. Not 100% certain because there are other announcements being made, and so we just need to be in the lineup. But I would say, This is our film, and we're perfectly fine with you sharing it with friends and family. Don't share it with the editor of the Wall Street Journal just yet, but feel free to share that trailer with the trailer. Did we post the trailer, or we're going to?
Yeah, we're going to post the trailer in the comments.
Share the trailer with your friends and family. Don't share it widely just yet. Let's hold a beat. Next week we're going to have some initiatives set up to really help kind of spread the word and get it out. Oh, is it?
Sorry, it's really noisy. We've got music
jamming.
going. The soundtrack today is completely overwhelming. The action.
Sorry,
is
it hard
film.
to hear us? I'm sorry.
No. There was just somebody mentioning that there was a lot of noise on the line. So, by
That's
the way,
me talking. That noise. Sorry, I'll shut up now.
It's hard to tune it out. I found like earplugs work really well. Just so you know, I'm not like checking my Facebook here. This is how our producers.
This is how we get the questions.
This is how our producers.
This is our teleprompter. What else do we need to say? But anyway, we're really excited. I mean, the film has it's got a great cast. It's super well done. It's very fun to watch. We're working directly with Electric Entertainment. There's going to be a lot of opportunities with screenings at cons and things leading up to the release. Hopefully, maybe even some type of like a premiere that we can invite people to. Also, maybe some reaction screenings that we might be able to get Legion members into. And one thing we were going to ask for people to film themselves or their friends and family watching the trailer.
Yeah, right? I don't know if you guys have seen reaction videos. You can search reaction videos on the internet. It's kind of a thing, and it's basically people filming themselves watching a trailer for the first time. And I think they naturally kind of play up a little bit.
You know what we should have? We should have reaction videos to people watching us. It'd be like...
It would be like disgust, like, seriously? Oh my God, where did I go wrong?
Why do I do this? All right. But the reaction videos would be great. Like when you're watching it, hopefully for the first time, or if you've got an enthusiastic friend that's going to watch it for the first time, the trailer's pretty kick-ass.
Yes.
Like the people that I've shown it to are like, whoa, that looks awesome.
Yes. Yeah. No, so, and again, just to reiterate, please keep this quiet for now, right? We're going to be making a big public announcement sometime next week.
Even though we're yelling it from the rooftop of the rooftop bar and grill.
But we are
in downtown
broadcasting this to just the Legion M
Yeah,
group.
this is just the Legion M group.
We wanted to share the
This
information
is the
with you
inner
guys.
circle.
That's
the
right.
Legion M inner circle.
Welcome to the inner circle.
Yes.
Okay.
We had wanted to talk about
Well,
reservations. Are there any questions about Bad Samaritan? We should.
Yeah. So Dean Hockey asks, "How big is our involvement?"
Well, our involvement is, I mean, it's probably financially, it's larger than our involvement was with Colossal. I would say from an engagement level, it's really strong. You know, the fact that we're working directly with Dean and the Electric Entertainment team, and they've really like invited us into the huddle. You know, like we're attending their weekly meetings, and you know they're really excited about working with us, and we're likewise really excited to work with them. They're very receptive to working with us. So,
Yeah.
but you know, from just like any project that we're involved in, you know, we want to continue to have a diversified slate. So we're not betting the farm on this film, but we've made a substantial investment.
Yeah,
in the
this
film.
is a level up as far as it's our largest probably investment in a feature film to date.
Yeah,
and
and the largest film.
Definitely
You know,
the largest film as far as
Probably
the
with
exposure.
the highest potential too. It's
Yeah.
going to have, you know, we don't know the final P&A budget, but it's going to be big. I mean, this
Yeah.
is going to be a film that people have heard about and
Yeah.
will, you know, come to your town. So
Yeah, and then it's also, you know, like Paul said, the fact that we're working so closely with them. This is like our tightest level of integration
Oh, yeah.
with a partner. And so
Yep.
I think all those sort of things, I mean, we talk all the time about how building a startup is like taking one step and building
Yeah.
up. And I feel like, you know, we're in such a great spot right now. Like we just had one of the best reviewed films at Sundance Film
Yeah.
Festival. We've got a film premiering next month at South by Southwest. We've got, you know, this announcement.
Pretty wide release film, like mainstream film coming out that could be like the next Don't Breathe
Yes.
coming, you know, within the next 2 months. I mean, I like it's remarkable, like
Yeah.
what, you know. And one thing that it has really changed is, you know, we're going from kind of talking about doing something to like partially proving it, and it's making a big difference in the meetings, the type of meetings. Like, you know, I think we mentioned this, we met with Electric Entertainment like 8 months ago. We saw the film, we were invited to see the film. It wasn't completely done, but we were, you know, involved, and you know, they weren't probably sure what to make of us. It was 8 months ago. You know, we're still kind of cutting our teeth to a certain degree, and you know, within the last like couple months, we met with Dean, and it was like talking about what we've done and showing what we've done. It was like a no-brainer. They were like, "Oh my God," you know, like Jeff said, they get us. They were excited,
Yeah.
and you know, it wasn't like, "Well, we want you to do 3 more things and then come back and talk to us." It was
Yeah.
like, "Well, let's team up on this project."
Well, and it's a huge opportunity because, like, I don't know if Dean has other stuff he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
and
No,
will continue
yeah.
to do. And so
Yeah.
we look at this as much as a opportunity and like a level up, as we're also auditioning basically
Right.
to be involved with his next, you know, project
next
going
Stargate.
forward.
Let's
yeah,
do it.
exactly. So,
Yeah.
okay, so a couple other questions. Let us know what we can do to help the film.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I mean, I think over the weekend, you know, let it marinate. Watch that trailer, you know, share it with your friends and family. Next week, we'll have a comprehensive plan about, like, all right, what can we do? We're thinking about maybe doing a thunderclap. You know, once we make the news, then we're going to really ask you to, you know, help us get the word out. But I think we also want to be, like, we don't want to get the word out too early, because, you know, the way this works is the marketing will lead up toward the release date. So you don't want to do all your marketing now and then have people forget about the film when the release date comes up. So we want to, you know, I think there'll be things that we're asking you for your help with, all the way up to the release date.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Definitely when the time comes, we're going to want you to come to a meetup or host a meetup, and we're working
At
on
the very
making,
least, you got to
making-
go see the film.
on making tools that are
Yeah.
going to make that, like what we did with Colossal. We want to
Yeah.
just really plus up, because those
Yeah.
were really fun and they were super effective.
Yeah, we want to have a lot more of those. We're going to do the same thing. We're upgrading the tool, the online tool, so we can be better at facilitating. But we're going to have swag bags. We're going to have materials and posters and swag for the film, and we'll be able to send those out in advance. I mean, we've got time now to kind of get organized around this and really blow it out and make this, with the way a film like this works. It's a very high quality film. It could be, the next Don't Breathe, but it's got to get that traction, and it's got to get the traction where people are talking about it and seeing it and coming back and responding to it.
Yep.
And the other thing that I'll say about the film that I really appreciate is it's a fun film to watch. It's it's a thriller. It's very entertaining. Like, this is not the type of movie you would ever fall asleep in. But it's also got some thought-provoking stuff that, I don't want to lead too far into it, but that, things to talk about. So when we go see the film, we can go and, grab a drink or grab something to eat afterwards and talk about the film and the, just the philosophical questions that it leaves us with.
Yeah, I agree. So a couple other questions here. Somebody asking, is it
Alicia's
only
here.
releasing in the United States?
For now, well, that's all we're talking about at the moment. But no, it will release internationally. We just don't have all the details on that.
Can we have meetups with David Tennant?
That's our goal. Yeah, I mean, no promises.
We would love
but,
to,
yeah.
and we're working. The nice thing is, because we're working with the director of the film, and they're working directly with the cast, and they've got relationships. We're obviously doing everything that we can to make stuff like that happen, but everybody just needs to realize
We
that's
know 100% we'll be able to do stuff with Dean because he's just very engaged and available, and probably some of the other casts like Robert Sheehan and Clarita. So I think we'll definitely, and David Tennant is available for certain things, and we're just trying to understand his schedule so that we can allow.
He's got a lot of stuff going on.
He's really busy.
Yeah.
And by the way, he's he's a huge star. With a huge following, and he's really good in this film. I have to say, he's this might be one of his potentially biggest kind of box office films.
Yeah.
Besides he's done a lot of Doctor Who is obviously the biggest thing.
So anyway, so the short answer to that question is it's not likely that we're going to be able to do Legion M meetups with David Tennant, but we are trying to work with David Tennant.
We may be
as
able
much
to
as
do
we
one
can.
if we can align it.
Yeah, we'll have to see. So just stay tuned for that. Obviously, we're going to work that as much as we can.
Yep.
Just so everybody knows, it was filmed in Portland, Oregon. So
it
shout out
takes
to
place
Portland
there,
if there's any Portland people.
Yeah,
there.
there'll definitely be some stuff going on in Portland.
There's a couple questions about WonderCon. Will David Tennant be on the panel at WonderCon? So we can't release any details. I don't know that he's going to be there. I don't think so. But again, I mean, obviously, if we can do it, we'll do it.
That's not something that's.
But that's not.
confirmed at all.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't count on that.
Well, and that our Legion M panel at WonderCon is going to be, a part of it will be about Bad Samaritan, and a part of it will be also about Field Guide to Evil and some other. And we have a new project announcement. It's going to be more about Legion M than.
But there's also a Bad Samaritan panel.
They will have a
as
panel
well.
there.
Yeah, exactly. Which we're moderating.
Yeah.
So. And we can't give any details yet as far as when the panels are, other than the fact they're going to be at WonderCon. So, Brent Bartholomew asked, will we have a hospitality tent at South by? I'll be there all week.
So we don't we won't have a setup like we did at Sundance. We thought about doing something like that, but we just didn't have the cycles to get it together. And it's also South by is extremely busy and kind of a noisy place. We are, Nerdist is going to have a place, and we can maybe talk to them about, if we can get some invites to the Nerdist to their Nerdist. I forget what they call it. They have a name for it.
Yeah.
But they're taking over a venue, and there might be some stuff we could do with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of.
And we're hoping to have a Field Guide to Evil party. We don't have the details on that, but that's something that Tim League has talked about doing. So, and he knows we're supportive of it. So we just gotta figure out. I have a feeling that's going to come together at the last minute.
Those guys, I think, honestly, are working on the movie, right?
Right. Yeah. They're finishing.
One thing that we've learned, especially when it comes to these independent films, is there's nothing that drives the completion of the movie like the premiere of the movie.
Yeah,
so when we went to Mandy, that one, they flew it directly from an editing bay in Belgium. Like, one of the producers got on a plane to hand deliver it to the people at Sundance. And I think I'm kind of getting the sense...
Josh handed it off at a Starbucks.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting the sense that that's more the rule than the exception.
Speaking of which, we need to get our mosaic. We should get a mosaic over to them, an updated mosaic. They don't have a... in the opening credit, we have Legion M. But I don't think they can work a credit, the mosaic in there. They put maybe in the end credits.
Okay.
I don't know. Sorry.
All right.
So
I think that's it as far as the questions. Just one last reminder. We forgot to mention this up front, but we talked about this last week. But we are the new round is scheduled for sometime in March. We're targeting kind of middle of March. And this time, for the first time, we have a reservation system.
Yes.
We're trying to make the whole act of the fundraising and the closing and all that stuff just go smoother for everybody. So right now, you can go in, you can reserve a spot. It's a non-binding commitment on your part, so it's just an opportunity for you to say, I'm interested, and if I like what I see, this is what I'd like to invest. And it gets you priority access. Which is really cool. So it's good for you.
Good. We already have a lot of reservations.
Yeah, the traction on it so far is great. We opened it about a week or two ago.
Yeah,
and
it's good.
Anyway, so if you haven't already, do that. It also helps us out from a planning perspective, and we're hoping that this third round of funding is going to go much smoother. It's going to be a shorter round, and we're hoping to make it nice and smooth this time.
That's a good point, because one thing we want to do is, in addition to promoting the film and everything, we are going to be asking, the community, the Legion community, to help us build demand for the round. And we want to do that in a non-salesy way. And so one thing we've talked about, everyone knows that you can join Legion M for free without investing. And so a big part of our initiative is, our membership, the number of people that are just a part of the community, even without investing, continues to grow. And if we can keep expanding that, it's a meaningful number. And the investors, what we feel like once they're involved and see what we're doing and see what's going on, look, they can, if they decide to invest, that's great. But I think it's easier for us if we're all helping grow the Legion just by free membership, and then let the investor member that decision, leave that up to your friends and family.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Pressure.
The way that I see it, I don't feel like it's my place to try and pressure you or persuade you to invest in anything, right? But I want to tell you about this opportunity, and we feel like with the Legion,
Jeff doesn't do that. He just borrows
letting
money.
them come in.
Can I just borrow money?
And be a part of it, right?
Yes.
I mean, as a member, you get there's been very few things that are available only to investors. Other than if you invest, you get to participate in the success of the company financially.
And that's exactly right. And so
that's what the distinction should be. And so
exactly.
Anyway, we encourage you to encourage people to just check it out.
One thing, just to point it out, and because we've mentioned this before, but I think it's worth mentioning in almost every time we talk, which is the size of our community is really the most valuable thing we have. And right now we feel like the doors are wide open to us on a lot of really cool projects. I mean, we're having to say no more than we are saying yes. And our community is still relatively small compared to where we want it to be. And so if we can keep doubling the size of our community, we'll get to a point where not only are we being approached about projects, but we'll be able to do more of our own projects. We'll have a lot more kind of influence and credibility, and that gets us better deals, which makes us even more profitable and all those things. So
Yeah, no, that's a great way to. I mean, it's like a snowball. The
Yeah,
bigger
it's
we
a
get,
snowball.
the
We
more
keep-
powerful it
keep
becomes.
gathering snow.
So, all right, the last question is regarding our position. So, as many of
yeah.
you know, we're
Yeah.
hiring. We're looking for a social media manager, someone who has specific experience managing social media. We've had a total deluge of resumes. It's been fantastic, and I think a lot of qualified people. I'll be honest, we haven't. We'll be digging into those starting next week and responding. So, if you haven't already applied, there's still time. You can go to our website and on the homepage, if you go down to the news section, you'll see a link.
Yep.
And if you have applied, thank you so much.
Yep.
And we'll be looking at that stuff next week.
It's exciting though, growing the team. And we're
It
not.
is.
We're
It's a big step
as you
for
can
us.
see, we're not making like. Our goal is to keep our overhead really low. So we're really careful about bringing on new hires and the expense of it and everything. But I think this is a really valuable position, like a critical position,
Yeah.
something that we really need. And we've got so much going on now that it's justified in having a dedicated person that is
Yep.
focused on this.
Cool. All right. Well, I
All
think
right,
that
we're
we are
12:31,
officially
so
out
we
of
are gonna
time.
tune
So,
out.
yeah.
So remember, watch yourself watching the trailer, or no, record yourself.
Video yourself.
Video yourself watching the trailer. Watch other people watch the trailer. Don't watch
In like totally
Jeff
a
and I
not
anymore.
creepy way.
Yeah, exactly. And send it. Where do they send it? Do they just share it in Facebook?
Yeah, actually,
Yeah,
share,
just
share it in the
Facebook,
Facebook
and
group.
then
I
we'll
think that's
contact you
probably
when-
the easiest way.
Yeah.
All
Perfect.
right.
All right.
Well,
so
rock and
signing
roll,
out, onward
everybody.
And upward, another huge project for Legion M, and something that we can wrap our arms around and really have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, it's
So,
going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
All right. Thank
right.
you.